Moving a little bit to the U.S. before we let you go, obviously the elections are going forward. Do you believe that U.S., I don't know if I want to call it intervention, but is there a role for the U.S. in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process if there ever is to be one again?
Frankly speaking, the general attitude in the Arab world is as following. The Americans have been, supporting the Israelis without trying to look at the interests of the Palestinians or the Arabs. We feel there is a huge hypocrisy from the American administrations regarding this issue of Palestine in particular. And that was maybe the most important source of frustration regarding the American foreign policy in the Middle East.
I'm sorry, you said hypocrisy, is it?
Yes.
In what way?
Hypocrisy in a way that you are defending the interests of one party while not being able to see the point of view of the other party. That was the major issue. I mean, when the Americans came to the region, in the case of Iraq, they were claiming that they are there in order to establish democracy. But of course, in the Palestinian case, we have not seen the same standards implemented. Of course, that turned also to be a disaster in Iraq anyway. So I do argue that once the Americans decide to respect the decision of the people in the region and try to embrace this proper transformation that we see, democratic transformation in Egypt and Tunisia and Libya and many other countries, that might give them some kind of leverage in their relationship with the Arabs and try to fix this historical insult that we feel deep down from the Western policies towards us.
Did it not improve from, say, the Bush administration to the Obama administration? Did nothing improve?
I would say that it is less hostile. I mean, George Bush administration cannot be, described but the worst policy that was taken towards this region. Their mistake in regarding to Afghanistan and to Iraq and many other cases in the region were really very severe. Now, Obama tried his best. He came to the Arab world. He promised a new paradigm of thinking. But frankly, if you go now to the streets of Cairo, the streets of Damascus, wherever you would like to go in the Middle East and ask the people, do they really feel that Obama promises were actualized? No. I think people are disappointed by the Obama administration, and they feel that it has maybe reduced the rhetoric and increased the positive aspect of it, but practically speaking, nothing of what he promised was achieved.
I mean, what kinds of things are sort of at the top of the priority? Like, what kinds of things did he promise?
For example, Obama said that we don't want to see settlements in the West Bank. Settlements continue, and he had to back off. Obama was talking about, taking the Arab world perspective into consideration. We have not seen that. So I think pragmatism of the American administration and the mechanisms within America itself and the relationship with the Congress, for example, and the relationship within the lobbies of America itself has dictated certain foreign policy that no one is capable of departing from. And that is worrying, because the Americans right now has great chance to really rebalance their relationship with the Arab world. They have new leadership that is representative of the masses, democratically elected. And this new leadership is not going to be dealt with like what Hosni Mubarak and Zayn al-Abidin used to do. They are not puppets for the West anymore. And they cannot go against the public in their demands. So I advise the Americans to take what's happening seriously and to sit with these leaders and to take their point of view into consideration when they draft policies about the Middle East. They cannot from now on dictate upon us how the shape of politics should continue in this region. They need to take the public opinion into consideration.
Do you think Obama might feel freer to act a little bit more boldly if he gets a second term? Or do you not expect much of a change?
It works two ways. Some people might argue that he might feel free to act, but also on the other hand, a president who will be elected for a second term might be also weakened because he is going to be out very soon. Not only that, his party has vested interest in certain kind of balance, and the party might even block, major departure from certain kind of issues. So I really don't build very much on the American change in the region. I don't think that the American factor is going to be the driving factor in the relationship between the Arabs and the Israelis. I think what will be the driving factor is the dynamics in the region itself, the future of the Arab Spring, the democratic transformation in Syria and in Egypt and the neighboring countries. That might be much more important element in the future of the conflict rather than the American elections.
One last question about Western Muslim relations. Can you compare perhaps for the past decade, has it improved, gotten worse? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the West has, from 11 September, and as you know now, for more than 1 decade now, 11 years have passed, I think has gone through major mistakes in understanding what's happening in the Arab world. And that created a lot of sentimental feeling in the West and in the Arab world against each other. The Arab Spring came to give an opportunity for both parties to explore new future. Because the Arab Spring put everything in perspective. And instead of the anger and the frustration of the Arabs being put in the shape of violence, like Al-Qaeda and so on and so forth, it has been put in the shape of democratic transformation. So it depends how the Western attitude will develop towards this new reality. If Europe and the States start to embrace democratization in the Arab world and support it in a proper manner without trying to block the arrival of this party and that party to power, I think we have a chance of correcting our relationship. But if we feel, and the people feel in the region, that their hope for proper democratization is going to be hijacked by international powers who will favor someone against someone else, I think that might have severe consequences against the future. So, again, the relationship between Islam and the West is an issue of politics more than an issue of religion. I think religiously, all of us stand for values, or religion stand for grand values. I don't see why should we fight amongst ourselves. But again, politics is dividing us and maybe pushes some people to use the religious rhetoric against the others.
That is our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Join us again for Global Perspectives on MTV Sports. For those of you who missed the episode, you can always watch it on webtv.lk. We hope you join us again next time. Have a great evening. Thank you.